Maybe that's a bug? I'd have to look and see what actually happened. Oh, wait. Bro, do I have to get through 3 weeks? Oh, no. Did I make a mistake? Don't have anything for the hoosh pot. So, let's hope. No dog meat here. No Whoa. I believe it's time we set sail. This is our only chance to make land. The Stoke brothers are waiting for you by the shore. I'll not pretend to be adept at nautical matters. I trust you will choose your boat captains and allocate the crew wisely. Did I just lose 3 crew to doing that? Ah, Shaw. Almost ready to set out. Weathered. If we had any timber left, I could look at fixing them up. But we'll get there in one piece. Still need to assign the crew to their stations. Plan carefully, Shaw. Don't know what we'll face. Everyone needs to pull their weight. So who do I have to... Hold on. So, are those 3 used up? These 3 are used up. I wonder if... Okay. Oh, there's only 11 crew available. Templeton, Hammond, Kurt, Cordell. Hammond. Kurt, Cordell, Nutley, and Kasha all board the largest lifeboat. Grimley and Junior man the other 2 vessels. Okay, hold on here. What am I looking at? Okay, so they're back to being assigned. Okay. Okay. So I've got 13 left to assign. Who's the leader of these? I'm guessing it's the brothers. I'm probably the leader of this one. Who's the freezing person? This guy? Wait. What's going on? Alright. Each of these boats is going to get 1 wounded. I mean, that's not the end, right? Okay, good. Okay, and then this one's going to get a wounded and also a guy. Okay. Who's on this boat? I think it's me and... well, actually, it's probably all these people, right? Except these 2. So not these 2. And... so we don't actually have a lot of strong people on this boat. Strangely enough. Okay. We still have 3. So I'm gonna give him Runt, Dad, And Runt will also be on a boat with his dad. Okay, then this boat will get this dude and this guy. Okay, so I'm gonna put this guy on this boat. All right, and so that's all the sailors. I'm gonna give each boat a scout as well. And a scientist on this one. Okay, lifeboat 3 will have the scout and 2 scientists, the husband and wife. All right, what do we still have? This one's going to get a scout as well. Who do we still have? One person? They'll be assigned to this boat. Him, I guess. You are now ready to set sail. All right. You will not be able to return from this point. Are you sure? Camp is packed up, and the lifeboats are prepared for sail. Those are big old lifeboats. Or they look big. Everything is ready, Captain. All is left for you to give the order. Keep alert. Let's get off this blasted ice. I'll see you all on the other side. I think it's okay to be confident. Let's, ride this out. This isn't going to be easy. Keep alert. We're at the mercy of the ice in the ocean now. Yeah, let's go with that. It's fine. It is 2:15 in the afternoon. For some back home, the end of lunchtime. For you, the beginning of a countdown. Consider the boats carrying you through the ice. Try to keep your mind on the mission ahead. Observe the souls aboard. It's hard to think of the Viscount. You could be sailing over a wreck right now and may never know it. Your past and future seem to shrink against the glaring challenges of the ice ahead. For but a moment. All of this is the adventure that was promised. The advert is still imprinted in your memory. Glory to be had in the event of success. There's no choice but to succeed then. Promises are poison. We're testament to that now. You grip the tiller firmly. Stroke. The boat lurches forwards, bobbing side to side, parting the inky waters. Stroke. You are gaining speed now. Stroke. A cadence is reached by all those rowing. The oars lift in unison. Uncomfortable for most, the crew has arranged the equipment as best they can to lift their sitting position to account for the raised edges of the boat. It's not long before Nutley begins a periodic ritual of dry heaving over the side of the boat between his turns rowing. Kasha curls over the camera, paranoid of any moisture that may enter its mechanisms. The fog finally clears to reveal the ice around. Oh, jeez, I thought we just hit the ice. Jeez. Don't hit the ice now, guys. I mean, there's no guarantee even that there's a rescue boat there for us. Alright? Like, we're just sailing to who knows where. Like, we're sailing even further south. God, that dog thing really got me. Come on, brothers. You can do it. I've tried to spread the crew around as good as I can. Terrifying, but profoundly beautiful all at once. Continue to sail ahead. I mean, you got some weak links on the boats, but I think we'll be okay overall. By evening, you've nearly escaped the ice. The empty ocean is almost visible on the horizon. The boats lurch. The smell is horrendous, though seemingly enticing to a large gathering of snow petrels. They shoot down from the sky at their leisure, scooping up a meal at a time. They're mackerel ice fish, I think. How do you know that? My father used to take me fishing whenever he could. Hammond stops rowing momentarily. Are you sure about that, kid? 'Cause you've been puking for the year straight at least. The doctor goes red and tries to prove he can hold it in. Kasha furrows her brow, readying the camera. What do you think it means? It doesn't mean anything. A cold current, most likely, where the ice meets the ocean. Grimly calls from his boat. It's a bad omen. The living aren't supposed to be out here. Templeton grumbles to himself, something about superstition. With the birds overhead, it's nigh impossible to avoid their droppings. At least it's warmer than the snow. One finds its way into the doctor's hair. A fresh gastral purge follows suit. Oh, Jesus. Kasha looks to you, uncomfortable, shielding the camera. What do you think, Captain? Sailors have made a career of defying where people shouldn't be able to go. Grimley's no different. I'm no different. She seems satisfied with his answer, taking a photo across the water. Cordell lifts a fish from the ocean and presents it to Stanberry, and the animal smells it before shying away from the food. She drops it back in the ocean and buries herself in the animal's furs. I mean, we don't know. After hours of rowing, you finally reach the open ocean. It's impossible to avoid the stingy sprays of the sea as they invade the boats periodically. Everyone is left. The crew begins to curse into the night, at each other, and at the events gone past. It's the only means of protest that doesn't interrupt attempts to remain warm. Refuse to take part, but allow the others. Let the sailors sing their slurs into the night. Out here, each should be allowed their own reprieve. Nutley looks to see if you curse and decides it isn't safe. Templeton, at least, lets out the odd, posh paragraph. Oh no. What is that music? God, I thought the dogs was going to be the part that... This is a bit intense, isn't it? Lightning flashes to the west, followed by rapturous thunder, underscoring the sound of the sea. Your screams are lost in the thunder as a large, abrupt wave smashes against the boats. Rogue wave. You just about crest it. A moment passes before the other two lifeboats join you. Gosh, what a time to be interrupted. Every sailor knows the tales of rogue waves, freak anomalies that plague seas such as these. You hear singing, started by Junior. It soon infects the rest of the sailor folk, defiant against the storm. The song is about three sisters dancing to seduce a sailor. Not gonna lie, this is pretty freaking epic. The second larger wave hits the boats. Same again, just about. The sailors change key. You don't know the words, but you'll never forget this tune. Echoing as best you can, the others follow suit from beneath the tarp. Even Templeton sings. Holy crap. Third, final, and largest of the waves hits the boats. You're lifted near vertical. Spray enters your lungs. It feels like forever before your boat finally crests the wave. The tiller buckles in your hand. Your eyes burn from the salt of the sea. All three boats make it across. Oh, that's pretty frickin' epic. The navigator is the first to step on solid ground. He turns to the rest of you, sodden. We've made it, ladies and gentlemen. Land at last. Okay. Jesus. You look out across the ocean and consider the journey thus far. Okay. Surely that has to be about it, right? There's nothing for the hoosh pot. Fuel goes in, we stay alive. Okay, well, I don't got nothing to feed the furnace. Excuse me if you heard that. I thought I paused it or muted the mic in time for my cough. Hammond. The carpenter sent me. He says we ought to get building some proper gravestones for the dead. Can't say I disagree. I'll get to it on your order. He leaves. A proper eulogy will also be expected. It'd be best if you consider your words now, Captain. This is a difficult time for all. We have progressed past beyond the last known location of the Viscount. Answers to its disappearance may lie on this isle. Captain, once we are through here, I would recommend you scout the area for any signs of human activity. For safety, of course. Alright, so we need a eulogy and we need scouting. Yeah. You see the engineer tinkering away at some navigational equipment with his usual sour expression. Shit. He places the equipment on the side and lets out a grunt. Damn thing still doesn't work. Maybe. Couldn't begin to know. Not like we have any bloody experience for this. Not a bloody soul has come this far south. Who knows what's ahead? Having trouble? Kurt approaches, a more noticeable limp on the man, forcing him to use his cane. What do you want? Still trying to get the compasses working again? Threatened that I might? Ahem. I have something to declare regarding my previous actions. Well, I believe that in dire circumstances, pride can often take the better of us. What are you trying to say? I would just like to apologize over our earlier scrap. I got carried away before, and I see it did neither of us any good. You're right there. It's not in me to hold a grudge, Hammond, least of all trapped out in this cold. Enough with the appeals, just spit it out, why don't you? We should be working together, and more importantly, I'm sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I apologize. Hammond pauses for a moment while looking towards Kurt. After that moment, he returns to tinkering with his equipment before finally speaking. Accepted. Excuse me, what was that? Aye, sure, I apologize. Apology accepted, Hammond. Aye, sure. Well, I suppose I'll be off. Best of luck with your adjustments, Hammond. There's no chance of getting them working here. We're relying on you. I'm sure I'm a relic compared to your machines. I'm relying on you. Ah, I see. Kurt steps away, returning to camp at large. Nothing here. And cross the ridge. Can I not do anything here? Guess not. Wait. Maybe I get to do it later? Inspect the cairn. 1 bolt action rifle. Plus 28 food. Inside the cairn, you find a letter, some supplies, and a bolt action rifle. To you finds this message. Here lies the final testament of the Viscount. We made our arrival on the east shore of the island. Before moving on, we established a cabin to mark the landing point. There you will find enough supplies to support a crew of 20 for a full year. While charting the perimeter of the island, the crew came across a cavern at the mouth of the central mountain. Captain Wayland decided to split the crew in order to chart the location further. His half have elected to enter the cave through the open stream, while we have been sent to mark the western coast on land. Okay, so hold on. There's a cabin on the east shore. While charting the perimeter, the crew came across a cavern at the mouth of the central mountain. Captain Whalen decided to split the crew in order to chart the location. His half have elected to enter the cave. So, eastern shore. Yeah, cabin with food. Center of the mountains, cave. While we were sent to mark the western coast on land. I don't trust the captain. His actions of late have been erratic, cagey. He has avoided all questions from myself and the rest of the crew. This behavior is only exacerbated since encountering the cave. Enclosed is an instrument that may be needed in some time. If you find said instrument to be missing from this cairn, then you will know that the worst has occurred. If you are reading this in our wake, another poor crew sent to this site, heed my advice. If you find said instrument to be missing, then you will know the worst has occurred. I mean, are they talking about the gun? Turn back. There's something truly wrong with this island. It has felt the touch of the three sisters, cursed to swallow poor sailors whole. If you're wise, you will not allow it to happen to you. Turn back. Signed, Bertram Reynolds, head scout of the Viscount. I mean, I already read it, right? Yeah, okay. So the east is the cabin, center is the cave, west is this part. Something wrong with the island, turn back. Okay. I can't do anything here? Do I have anything? Everybody looks so, well, I got some food. I guess not. And nothing else anywhere. So. Alright. Ding, ding, ding. The crew have their meal. A wave of ease and rest falls over the crew, safe and fed. Oh, we're not even consuming food right now. Dinner ends and slowly the crew make their way to the graves. The eulogy awaits. Nutley approaches you. Captain, we've come a long way, haven't we? Have I? Am I any taller? Ahem. Before we move on, there's something I have to confess. Something that I've carried on my back this whole time. I don't feel right keeping it from you any further, so I allowed Captain Hunt to abandon us. Explain. When the ship was going down, I saw him. I watched as he grabbed his supplies and began to take off onto the ice. He saw me, but didn't say a word. He knew that I was too spineless to do anything. I couldn't even bring myself to tell anyone. He was right. I was too spineless, until now at least. And now, you know. I didn't help. Every time I could have done something, I froze up, and I'll carry that guilt with me. I'm sorry. The truth had to come out. Do what you will with this information. I'll accept anything you decide, Captain. Nutley walks off, returning to his tent. I don't think he did anything wrong. Captain, is there something I should be made aware of? We're keeping no secrets, if that's what you're implying. Mr. Templeton has been snooping around, interrogating me on my report. It seems as we approach rescue, he's taken upon himself to approve of what lies in my writing. He has taken upon himself, correct? You didn't set him up to this, right? Templeton is acting of his own accord. Good to know. I'm no stranger to people who want to omit parts of my work. I saw it plenty while covering the riots, but I have no intention of censoring this report. A story not based in truth is worthless. If I have to leave parts out or fabricate others, then was it a story worth telling in the first place? You could always gloss it up a little. What do you mean? Well, a story can still be plenty honest, but some require a little bit of polish. What about your films? Weren't they the honest accounts of your expeditions? Ah, they were. Well, more or less. Most of it was true, I'm sure. Most of it. I'm not interested in mostly true. I thought you, of all people, would understand the tricks a camera can pull. Oh, well, I'm aware of how others go about it. But I won the Fintler Prize doing it my way, and I'm sure to win it again my way. I'm sure Kasha has no need to lie in order to paint this crew positively. Of course, of course. Those who read these sorts of things can be tremendously judgmental. I just feel that we brave so much that we deserve a somewhat flattering write-up, so perhaps some omissions are necessary. Many of this crew come from backgrounds best not shared with the public, and more has happened here that should remain on the ice. You, that private conversation with Nutley. You resigned yourself from the sale. Is that what this is? You want nobody to know about whatever health issue you keep under wraps? Regardless, it will remain under wraps. It's not for the public to know, right? I'm simply stating that for this kind of story, people reading want to be inspired. There's no reason to saddle them with nitty-gritty. But I'm here for the story, the full story. Jesus, Kasha. Where's this coming from now? No single solitary soul wants to hear the full story. Nobody got into an Arctic expedition because they heard about the rest of us having dysentery. You. What? Well, no, it's nothing of the sort, but... Is this really important right now? Holy crap. I know. I didn't think you would be so concerned about your image, Kurt. Well, that's your mistake. Mistake? I've been married thrice, hobbled once, and plagued with every vice there is. What I do have is my exploits and my legacy. I wish they would... You don't understand the power of optics. Every part of your report puts my livelihood at stake. Your livelihood, or your image. The cold truth is, there's no difference between the two. Uh, let's say she's fine. Oof. I'm so disappointed in you. It's all I have to care about. This feels very unwarranted at this point in the game. As Kurt gives you an uncomfortable glance, the man looks shaken by the response, and above all appears to be deeply embarrassed. Without a word, he staggers back to the heart of camp. Well, that was weird. Again, was that really necessary right now? Jesus, I lost so much stuff with Kurt, too. That's rough. Luckily, he's still really high. Captain, we've escaped the ice. We're very close. We're so close now, Shaw. So very close. We both saw the cairn, Captain. Traces of the expedition which came before us. Shaw, I believe we can still find the Viscount. Our mission can continue. You really think there's a chance we could actually find it? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, surely. I know that after all this time, the specifics of our employ may seem inconsequential. But tell me, Captain, do you think the Appertons would pour all this effort, with this many lives at risk, if they didn't think there was something truly paradigm-shifting at the end of it? We still have a mountain to ascend before making that choice concretely. And everybody looks absolutely beat up. One last thing. What happened to your captain's hat? Honestly, I have no idea. Did I even have the thing? I never had it, did I? The crew are called together before you. You tentatively lift yourself onto a crate. Hushed whispers roll through the audience. Kasha reads her ledger, readies her ledger and pencil. They once again await your next words. How will you deliver them? This is a eulogy. With the implicit confidence in the impossible result. Their loss hangs on your words. You dare not speak without knowledge of exactly that. The crew look to you miserable. The scars of the sail past, exposed in the light of day. I'd like to begin by honoring those we have lost. The Stoke brothers begin a tune together in remembrance. I mean, the only people we lost were the missing crew. You recite the names and stations of all lost to the ice and ocean. Each individual name seems to stain different groups of the crew. By the time you finish, not a single soul is left without their affecting moment. Include the names of the lost dogs. Oh man, that actually just got me. This perks up Cordell's attention. May all be granted their rest. The eulogy is ended. The crew look to you for answers. Kurt speaks up. Our work's not finished yet. We still have a mountain to scale. We all saw the cairn. Across that path of safety. A cabin with enough supplies to last us until rescue. Templeton clears his throat. I honestly don't think that they're gonna accept. I mean, if we can find the Viscount, that's great. But I think our priority is rescue. I mean, I do. We're gonna scale that mountain. We will know our next course of action from there. Kurt gives a nod. The assurance of solid ground seems to stir those listening. Nice. Well said, Captain. Indeed. Well, we don't have much time. Best be moving on. Back to work. The crew are granted the time they need before they eventually disperse, returning to their roles at camp. Bro, this has been going... Okay. And anything over... I guess that's the end of the week. You dream you're back on the Temperance. Wake up shaken. You wake shaken, literally, by the engineer. He stands over you bug-eyed. For a moment you think you're back on the Temperance. Hammond. Shaw. It's Cordell. There's food and supplies missing from the stores. How much? I think she's trying to make a run for it. Why would she be running? After getting up, the two of you charge out of the tent into the snow. I found tracks heading up the mountain pass. Why? What is she doing? What is she trying to run for? You follow tracks away from the camp. It's half an hour before you finally spot her ascending the dead mountain. Not letting you screw this up by yourself. Alright, sorry. I keep getting stuff going on. Try to blow the odds. Fine. Let's approach slowly. Follow my lead. I think that's fine. I don't think Cordell's nuts. Get closer. Captain Shaw, Hammond, to what do I owe this surprise? Then you seem to be several steps ahead of myself. And what am I apparently up to? Please educate me. Getting a head start on tomorrow's scouting, a fine idea. That's what I'm doing. Stanberry's expecting. And you should be doing what's best for those pups. What does it look like I'm doing, Robin? If you leave, you're ensuring their demise. Perhaps, but there's more of a chance out here than with the rest of you. I'm not going to allow Stanberry and I to be part of this expedition any further. Do you really think the two of you will be better off without the rest of us? I do. Those puppies will be my new litter. I'll start over. Certainly not the first time I've had to do that. The snowfall has begun to sit on you both. You should have come to me first, Cordell. We both know that wouldn't have worked. Needs someone else with their head screwed on straight. You might feel that you both don't need us, but we need you, both of you. I don't think Stanberry would come to us. There's much to be done, and you've already proven you're not in this for the wrong reasons. Help me keep that furnace running. Help me keep the rest of these idiots alive. Three of you begin the long trek back to camp. Stanberry follows patiently. Well, we got more fuel back. That was a mistake. We got more fuel back than we had. We haven't had that much fuel for weeks. That's kind of funny. Oh, man. Kasha, careful. You turn your head to spot Kasha perched precariously over the edge. That is one edge. Her camera in hand, lining up another shot from her position. It's a great shot of the horizon, trust me. You've got a good shot of falling to your death. Get back over here. The ground isn't safe. You can't trust anything beneath your feet this high up. Kasha doesn't heed their warnings, instead lining up the shot and snapping it cleanly. There, no issue. And this just might be the banner image for my report. If the civilian is done being foolish, might we move on? Kasha nods and turns back around to join the rest of the crew, only for her to slip on the ice beneath. You lunge forward and pull Kasha forward so that she isn't hurtling over the edge, but her initial stumble sent the camera falling below. That was a close one. My camera! Be careful, the camera took the plunge and not yourself, young one. I can't lose it. Everything from this expedition was on there. Nonsense, it's a blip on the rocks. You can't see the ground from this distance. No, it's not on the ground. It's snagged on the ice. It's not too far down. I can climb back down and... Not a hope. You want to go back to climbing? If I lose that camera, my entire reason for being on this nightmare goes with it. Oh man, this is gonna be bad. I'm getting that camera. She turns to you. Captain, we have to do something. It's just a camera, Kasha. The world needs those photos to believe this. Kurt steps forward. I'll do it. Jesus, why is everything gotta... I don't know. I feel like these things are... I feel like the decision making, or the... It feels kind of weak at the end, a little bit. It's like, oh, here's one incident after another. I think it's a terrible idea for Kasha to do it. Leave the climbing to me. As a civilian, your safety is top priority. That would be the preferable option. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree, Templeton, but... Kurt pays no heed to the protests of Templeton, continuing to climb down with Kasha in tow. Thank you. Don't thank me until the job is well done. Bad luck otherwise. Kurt and Kasha begin to slide down the wall. See, this is what I kind of feel like is... It's a little bit staged and less realistic, as in terms of the rest of the game, because you just ignore Grimly and he doesn't get upset with that. So, like, these are events that are kind of locked in versus stuff that... Well, anyway, let's see what happens here. Kurt and Kasha begin to slide down the wall of the cliff at a steady pace. Kasha keeping her eyes on her camera at all times. Easy now, easy now. You can do this, Kurt. Reassuring yourself isn't very reassuring to me, you know? Think. Both of you, please don't make any rash movements. She collects the camera. There we go. Now get back up here, you madman. Job well done, so much for bad luck. Kurt begins to adjust the lines of his climbing gear, prepared to lead Kasha up. The extra weight from the camera causes the rock beneath Kurt's feet to crumble. I mean, a camera ain't that freaking heavy. And the former film star goes hurtling back. Oh. He snaps to a standstill, the line between him and Kasha still intact. But the weight of the big man's fall pulls Kasha back from the face of the cliff. Blast. Kasha, are you alright? I can't see the cliff. What's happening? This blasted line won't hold with me. Pull us up. The rest of the crew hang back, lest any weight added at the cliff's edge cause an even more dire incident. As you look down, you see the pair flailing, helpless. Asha spots you. Captain! Crew scrambles to start pulling the rope up. No doubt the dangling weight of Kurt is also putting strain on the back end of the rope as it's tied to a jagged rock on the peak. You notice the rope beginning to fray at the edge. So does Kurt. The navigator pulls out his knife. Kasha! She looks down at the man as he shouts. I always promised myself I'd lose a few bastarding pounds. A bit late for that, I suppose. Take a photo. Take a photo of me for posterity. Once in a lifetime shot. No. You can pull her up, Kurt. You can pull her up, Kurt. You can do this. You see a twinkle in the man's eye. He puts the knife in his teeth. He starts to swing his admittedly impressive weight. As he reaches the mountainside, he takes the knife and cuts his line, before gripping to the side of the mountain and returning the knife to his mouth. He begins to climb. Kurt! The navigator responds through the metal between his teeth. They faked this stunt in my third film, but it's worth a shot now. Kasha silently prepares the camera for a photo. She daren't use the flash. The man climbs until he's beside Kasha. He takes the camera from her and continues gripping the mountain. Pull the rope. The crew begin to pull the rope. Keep going. Kurt, Kasha, and the camera are all pulled to safety. As they reach the peak, Kurt bursts into relief laughter. Don't laugh, that was terrifying. We made it out all right, I think. Still, that was, well, just like the movies. Yes, it was all quite daring. Might we move on? I'm glad you both made it out. I was so worried. Can't believe the show business fake would actually be daring. Can't believe the show would actually be daring. I barely believe it myself. But it happened. Believe me, this will be full page in my report. I don't require the credit. Stop the fox humble. Kurt, you're allowed to be proud right now. You're a real hero. Oh, let's take that rope. That rope's valuable. It's also useful. Oh. Move on to the peak of the mountain. The crew finally crests the mountaintop. Grabbing everyone's attention is a cave in the rock wall. A cave? A good spot, some shelter from the winds. Still, what lies inside, it may prove a danger. The crew get to work setting up a camp at the peak of the mountain. Camp is set up. Oh. You find Kasha carefully inspecting her camera. It still works. It would have been a shame to lose it in this far in. We should be grateful nothing more important was lost. As Kurt approaches, Kasha lets out a small chuckle. Yes, I suppose I should have my priorities in order. I know. There's something I should say. Past comments I made. Well, allow me to apologize first. You can't convince me to lie in my report. I'll tell the entire truth. And the truth is that Kurt Darling is a hero. You needn't say that. I've caused my fair share of trouble on this expedition. I don't think so. I think Kurt... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I'm sure they said something sentimental. Thank you. I can only hope another young Kasha Belford reads my report. Let's hope they grow to be less reckless than you. I hope the opposite. Chasing glory has been my vice for too long. Whatever you write about me, it has my blessing. There, I can expect honesty. Thank you, friend. And thank you. So I guess we're at a point where literally it's just like story type stuff. Templeton. We're at a crossroads and a decision needs to be made. We both read the cairn. We know the location of the Viscount lies in this cave. We're this close. Our mission lies in wait. What do you expect to find there? Answers, for better or worse. If what we read is correct, the shore cabin should hold enough rations to last us a full year. We can afford the risk of missing a single rescue ship. I think it's worth it. Huh. Let's see. Should we abandon or not? Secure the cabin first, before returning. Yeah. But this mountain is perilous, Captain. Can we survive a second trek? You should inform the crew of our movement as soon as you leave this tent. I know you will make the right call, Captain. Oh, what is this? You pass the tent and are quick to notice what's going on. Kasha, the intrepid photographer, standing close to the doctor. Their faces press closely together. She's alerted to your footsteps and opens her eyes. Eyes which quickly widen as you're spotted. Quickly, she and Nutley pull away from each other, their heads nervously swiveling around the tent. Nutley letting out a punctuated cough. Captain, you could have cleared your throat or something. We were just, sticking together for warmth. A clever decision. Yes, quite clever. Very, very clever of us to be doing that. That was definitely what we were. Right there, I think our good captain was joshing us. That her shawl is quite dense, and that would be a greater issue for us. Oh, thank you, Captain. We should be thanking you, Shaw. Placing us together in one tent for a year certainly fostered conversation. Don't blame me for this. Blame? We spoke at length at first about his unexpectedly vast knowledge of ice fishing, and ending with casual conversation about our favorite newspaper strips. Well, it wasn't entirely casual. What do you mean? I knew you didn't notice it. Notice what? Kasha clears her throat before putting on an affected voice, dramatically quoting her past statements. Why, Doctor, I think you would be a great subject for my next report. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a write-up on your interesting life. A handsome young medical prodigy. You must have a bevy of suitors. Doctor, there is this excellent seafood restaurant. We should absolutely eat there when we return to land. Kasha chuckles to herself. I used we for goodness sake. I was beginning to think you were oblivious to all flirtation. I recognized some of it. I was just too nervous at the time to respond. Oh, it's true. I did think you were just passionate about seafood. And then? But we couldn't help ourselves. Honestly, I deeply admired her passion for her craft, her headstrong way of thinking, how she was so focused on the future, on her future. Everything I wanted in myself. And I admired his courage when up against his fears and possibly the worst situations possible. Up against his fears and possibly the worst situations possible. That's the kind of thing they make films out of. And just as I thought we were winding down, I told her I wanted to see her again after we returned to civilization. Suffice it to say, I was surprised that he would just blurt it out. I surprised myself. Before that, I had long stopped considering that we'd make it back. Of course, that led to a new conversation all through the morning. Before we knew it, we were having a romantic embrace at the south of the world. As until you walked in, Captain. Yes, it was rather importunate of you. Kasha pauses for a moment. You don't take issue with this, do you, Captain? Presuming all goes well, of course, not for another year or 2. Or 5. Oh, Doctor, you know me, I like to live fast. 5 years is fast. I think I could whittle you down. I'm joking, of course. It's far too soon to speak on that. Well, forbidden or not, we're at the end of our journey here, I hope. Matters of the crew are in the past. To sail home with caution. Well, it's something to look forward to. Been quite a while since we had that. Agreed. I wish you both happiness. It's what you deserve. You both happiness is what you deserve. Now, if you'll excuse us. Hey, got another achievement. Got quite a few people here. I wish to speak with you on a matter. What matter? Concerning your report. Simply, I have a story for you to include regarding who I am. You're a kennel master. That is true, but not the whole truth. I have no doubts you were. Cordell turns to Kasha as the reporter quickly scrambles to gather a notepad and pen. Now, I'm certain you have heard them call me Lady Cordell. Yes, frequently. I asked around, and apparently it was a moniker granted to you due to how you spoke. Well, those who dubbed me with that name have no idea the irony in doing so. The truth is, I am a noble, or rather I was. Yeah, I guess so. Actually, I've kind of just assumed she was, but maybe that's wrong to assume. I suspected you might have an upper-class background. Your suspicions have not done you wrong, Shaw. I was born and raised within the nobility. But that's just a big claim. Ingrid Cordelia Weston. What? You keep your ear to the ground often. I'm sure you have heard of her. Yes, actually, she's a distant relative of the monarchy. Had a seat as an MP for a brief period. Went missing unexpectedly. Well, I am Ingrid Cordelia Weston. I have all the proof I need to show you. No need, I believe you. You do? It would certainly be an odd thing to lie about. I assume you're aware of the political system, Kasha. To no end. Researching it was possibly the most dull and harrowing part of my last report. And yourself, Captain. Vaguely. Well, then allow me to refresh your memory. Well, as a distant cousin of said monarch, I was placed in one of the parliamentary seats. As you can imagine, I had no interest in being an MP. My aversion towards human interaction was no different in my youth. From the age I received my first dog as a gift to my childhood, I have much preferred their company. Surely there was once a time when you weren't such a recluse. Well, you have encountered and interviewed many of the nobility in your time, correct? Correct. Would you choose to spend your time among those people? That's a fair point. So this whole time we've been traveling with a runaway MP. Yes, I suppose it does sound quite unusual. I've learned not to be surprised at this stage. But why did you leave? The reasons for that are quite simple. I refused to live that life any longer. In that world, in my position, certain things were expected of me. Act with decorum, attend every social event, keep your real self hidden, until you considered suitable to be shipped off into a political marriage. A grim reality. One I wanted no part of. My choice was clear, and I didn't hesitate in my thought for a moment. I left home in the dead of night, taking only two things with me. My certificate of birth, for reasons more practical than sentimental, and my dog, for reasons more sentimental than practical. I started breeding a kennel in the capital, earned the moniker Lady Cordell among the common folk, and from then I was free to feel the ground beneath my feet. As Cordell speaks, Kasha intently takes notes. I see. So trapped in a restrictive role in society, you broke free of your chains, yearning to be independent. I suppose, yes. Just like a wild pack of dogs able to roam free. Please do not include a surface-level poetic interpretation of my actions. Poetics are my calling, but okay. Oh, that's good. Keep it. There's no accounting for taste, Captain. I think I'll respect Cordell's wishes. Though I do think, with enough rewrites, I can make it sound great. I doubt that. Thanks for sharing, Cordell. But why have you shared this with me? Why now? My report, it will expose your identity to everyone. Why would you allow that? Because I trust you to tell my story, and I no longer have anything to hide. Thank you. I promise I won't let you down. I'll tell you the whole truth of your tale. I know you will, assuming you leave out that tripe about wild dogs. And yourself, Captain. Speaking of dogs, how is Stanberry? Faring well. Still pregnant. Mary's pregnant. Yes, quite fortunate for me after what happened to my kennel. It's a stroke of good luck. Yes, our fortunes are funny in a way. I intend on replacing the kennel I lost piece by piece. Stanberry will give birth a new generation of sled dogs. So you'll be continuing your line of work? Yes, I'd much sooner begin again as a kennel master than return to the nobility. Agreed. So what's your entire story? So that's your entire story, more or less, yes. I'm sure Captain Shaw has no objections to this tale. What say you, Captain? I never would have expected. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate your listening. I can't believe you would trust us with. Thank you, friend. Do not mistake this for closeness. I simply trust your credentials enough to consider you a professional. But you're welcome, friend. You turn and leave caution, Cordell. Oh my goodness, each one of these is gonna be long, isn't it? Okay, I gotta take a little break again. Probably like 30 minutes this time. I'm definitely gonna finish this tonight though, so. Speak to the navigator and engineer. Approach the scientist. You find the crew's science officer overlooking several petri dishes containing various materials picked from the walls of the cave. Curiouser and curiouser. Observe the materials we've uncovered in just the entrance of this cave. Copper, tungsten, antimony. These are deposits more likely found in lakes, not all in a cave. Let alone a mountaintop cave in the polar region. Nothing about it seems natural. Could this be why the Abertons were looking for this area? Perhaps. Captain, may I ask you a question? Go ahead. I've assumed you must enjoy my questions at this stage. You keep humoring them. Well, regardless, we have been working together for quite some time now. In that time, I have been able to evaluate you. After assessing your abilities and decision-making, I can safely conclude that you are more than capable in your role as captain. As such, I would like to offer you a job. My wishes are irrelevant. You're more than qualified for the role. I can easily recommend you to the company head. This time I told you the truth of who we're working for. There's even more you haven't told me? It's beneficial to keep cards close to my chest until you are fully evaluated. Templeton reveals a tin can of rations. He passes it over to you. The woman modeling on the front steers back at you before you look back to Templeton. Yes, the Apperton Company. I already knew that. Don't focus on the name, on the face. Her. Her name is Minerva Apperton. She is the president of the Apperton Tinning Company. But why would she fund this expedition? The same reasons anyone would. Tinned foods is perhaps the lowest priority with the company in today's age, as you can likely tell by the shoddy work on our rations. Instead, Lady Apperton is focused on turning her company into the only option in commerce, which is why she sought after the expedition of the Viscount. She's interested in what the Viscount found in the ice. She thinks it will help with her company? Yes, though you may have the wrong impression. The secret of the Viscount carries less of a financial benefit and more the benefit of control. No doubt there are several details Minerva has kept hidden from even myself, but I will tell you what I can. The original expedition of the Viscount was carried out by the government. A race to find the southernmost point of the world, charter it out in the name of and glory of science. But upon arrival, it appears They discovered the same strange environments as we have, and so they chose to investigate instead of heading back. And contrary to legend and hearsay, it wasn't the cold and the starvation that drove the crew mad. It was what they found there that took their minds. And just what did they find? That part remains a mystery, but what we do know. There was a witness, a survivor, washed ashore. Half mad, their tongue cut out. They lived only long enough to give us a hint at what we're looking for. It is unknown what exactly lies in wait for us should we find the Viscount, but from what we know, the crew of that vessel found something world-changing. This is no mere treasure. What they found was unnatural in nature, a paradox existing at the most southern point of the world. And whoever can retrieve it, bring it back to civilization, will shape the path of human advancement for the next century. It sounds like Minerva has been swept up in a myth. Ah, shoot. Our benefactor is not susceptible to mere rumor and hearsay, I assure you. We did not risk our life on a whim. Yeah. But I don't want to do that. Huh. I mean, should I? Hold on. I cannot forgive being kept in the dark like this. I don't really like any of these. It's a legend and nothing more. This expedition has been a waste. This is lying to him because I'm planning on going. Crap. I shouldn't have talked to him. Huh. I was hoping you would understand my perspective, but it seems your thoughts are clouded. Now I've told you all that I know. Please leave me to my research. You turn, but Templeton speaks up once more. Oh, Captain, you never officially responded to my offer. Do you wish to work with the Tinny Company after this? I'll take it under consideration. See that you do, Captain. Navigator and engineer. You notice Hammond and Kurt huddled around the boiler, deep in conversation. As you approach, their heads perk up, noticing you. Captain, didn't see you there. Apologies, Captain. Seemed we were both caught up in our work. My work. You're just watching me, Kurt. But you did manage to pick out the materials. We're just replacing the spyglass I cracked on the mountain. It may not be of any use in this cave, but you never know when we might need it next. Once again, my boiler comes in handy. What do you make of this cave, Kurt? It's an odd one, no doubt. A lot of questions we shouldn't be answering. Our priority should be to get to shore, not to go spelunking. Coming from you? Isn't that the point of your shite films? Upon hearing that, Kurt puffs out his chest. Oh, so you've seen my films? Just the one. And what did you think? Pure bollocks. I should have figured. I think they're rather good. Thank you. Of course you'd say that, Captain. I just can't get over all the inaccuracies in them. What inaccuracies? You take me for a fool, Kurt? I know a stage shot when I see one. Well, they certainly did clean up a lot in the edit. I don't get it. What don't you understand, chum? You're a proper bloody navigator, Kurt, and a damn hero. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Well, thank you. So why do you star in all these phony films? I wouldn't call them phony. And well, they might not be the picture of accuracy, but they have a power to inspire people, more so than any true story could. Sure. Now that is exactly what I like to hear. I'm glad my films had some effect on you, Captain. You really like that shite? Everyone is entitled to their taste, Hammond. But I do appreciate your more cynical approach. In fact, it's clear that if there's one thing I'm in need of, it's someone who can keep me grounded. Get to it, Kurt. What do you want to say? I was wondering, would you consider... Spit it out, would you? Alright, would you consider joining me after this, on further expeditions? As an engineer? Yes, but also a level head. I need someone like you. I'll think about it, Kurt. 2 of you on the same crew again sounds like a recipe for disaster. I wonder if they would hate that. I think Hammond would love to. That doesn't seem like Hammond, though. See, like, you can't really tell if this is a joke or not. Like, how's he coming along with that? Kurt's not exactly high, although, and Hammond isn't either. I think Hammond would love to. Shit. Don't be putting words in my mouth, Captain. All I said is that I consider it. But you will consider it. Aye, I will. Hammond pulls up the replacement spyglass. Anyway, here you are, all finished. Incredible. Great work, Hammond. No problem, Kurt. Kahirangi. What? My real name. Kurt's just for the media. Oh. Kahurangi to Hordo. Alright. See you around, friend. You too. Jeez. I'm having a bad time of it. I guess this is your opportunity to get a few more points with people at the end. You overhear the Stoke brothers engaged in what sounds like an argument. What did you say? I'm sorry, Grimly, but I can't fool myself any longer. Let's face it, Hunt abandoned us. Wrong. That's all you have to say? Grimly, we've been out here so long, he left without a word. He left us to die, to be torn up in a blizzard, to be eaten by a seal. Whatever else, he didn't care, did he? Don't know what you're saying. I know Hunt better than you, Junior. The captain would never. He's not our captain. Take it easy, men. Nothing is certain. I feel like leaving them be would be best. Although, he's very high, and he has no chance of... Nothing? There's something I know for certain, Shaw. If it wasn't for Hunt, we wouldn't be stuck here. He did this to us. Fine. Grimly storms off, marching towards his tent. Junior only lets out a sigh in response. Well, that was rather... So, like, Kasha and Arthur and Cordell were fine. And the conversations with everyone else was a little, not so great. What are we on, anyway? Abandon the mission and seek the rescue ship. The crew finally descend from the mountain. Nice. We made it. A large colony of emperor penguins, enough to live on for some time. The old cabin from the original Viscount expedition, designed to sustain life for months, possibly even years on the ice. Stanberry happily accepts your hand, rustling the top of her head. About time we had a spot of good luck. Now we wait. There's enough supplies to keep us going for a full year, but let's hope we aren't waiting that long. We won't. Rescue will come soon. I hope you're right. I really do. Captain, do you think Hunt made it here? Part of me. Well, I hoped we would find him and the others here, tearing into the rations. Apparently not. We'll never know for certain. Believe what you will. I think he's likely gone, I think. I will. Regardless, I'm looking forward to a normal meal for once. If I see another penguin seal or tinned peach can, I think I'll hurl my guts, Captain. Though we'll be dining on plenty of fish for the next sail, I imagine. What will you do once we return to land? Track down whatever greasy spoon I dined in back in the city and try their entire menu. I'm tired, Robin. I'll be happy to have someone cook for me for a change. Stay in contact, Robin. If you ever sail out again, let me know. I'll be happy to work with you. That's pretty good. Nothing from Grimly here. I must admit, I don't much care for waiting around, Captain. These old bones are beginning to stir. I mean, at this point, I don't know about the Viscount, but we don't have a Joyce. I understand, Robin. In a way, it would have made the expedition feel worth it, right? But no, don't doubt yourself. You put the crew above the mission. You should be commended. Oh, I just realized my career as a navigator is just about over, isn't it? We just reached the last great uncharted part of the world. You know, when I grew up reading about the great explorers of old, I always dreamed I would be the one to plant that final flag. I may be an old man with a limp and no flag to place, but I managed it, didn't I? Har! What will you do when you return? The first thing, I'm going to check in on my children. I can only hope they were worried sick about me. Who knows, maybe my exploration days are over. Now is as good a time as any to call it a retirement. I'd still raise funding for the field. I want to leave folks like Hammond behind there. Maybe I'll move to theater. There's some stories I want to tell, not about this expedition or any, about home, the islands I left behind. You've more than earned your rest, Kurt. Thank you, Robin. I should take all of this as a sign to wind down, shouldn't I? I'll always be in contact if you want to work together again, Robin. I'll make sure we do, no matter the medium. Captain, I'm putting together the finishing touches on my report. Not much else to do while we wait for rescue. You best win a prize for this, Kasha. You deserve no less. It's not about rewards, Shaw. It never has been. This is a story I wanted to tell. It's funny, Captain. The reason I took on this story. Interest in exploration was waning. I grew up on the stories of Kurt Darling. These great explorers were like legends to me. I didn't want that passion to disappear. I never thought I would be part of a tale of sheer endurance myself. It seems like a dream. I think I'll take a long break before starting my next project. I certainly need to spend time with parents, introduce them to Arthur. Regardless, I hope you continue to thrive, Shaw. You deserve that much. In fact, remember to keep in touch with me, especially if you have a good story to share. They'll write books about you one day, Robin. I know I will. Or, I guess you said I'll write books about you. I can't believe it. This is Nutley. I can't believe it. A moment of rest after all this time. This cabin is like a sanctuary in the oasis. Sorry, that sounded overly poetic, didn't it? Like something Kurt would say. You made it so far. I'm proud of you, Arthur. Thank you, Robin. I owe it to you. Do you really think rescue is coming soon? I'm sorry to turn doubtful, but these are perilous waters. These are perilous waters. We know that all too well. Rescue will come. Have faith. Okay, if you believe it, then so do I. You know, I still thought it was all hopeless, even after leaving you that letter. I had very little faith in survival. And yet, people were relying on me, Captain. I can only hope I didn't let them down. You're a good doctor. You've proven as much several times over. Yes, but there's always room to improve, isn't there? I certainly don't intend on becoming complacent. I never felt good enough to carry my father's name, but now, well, thank you. Keep in contact. If you need a haircut any time, I'll tell my father to treat you for free. Oy, oy, oy. Oh, Captain, we have made it, finally. Made it here, finally. A shame. It seems we will never learn what became of the Viscount. It is regretful indeed. Indeed. You've come so far, I will admit. Over time, it was more than a mission. I wanted to know, desperately. Does it not eat away at you, Captain, to never know? Of course it will, but that's for me to bear. If I couldn't ensure the crew's safety, it would eat away more. Consider it as ever, Captain. I certainly have my doubts on you, Shaw. I've never been more happy to be wrong. I hope we have the chance to work together in the future. Our lives may be quite busy once we return. We need not work together to remain in contact. I'd like that too, Templeton. Well, I can say one thing with certainty. The future is unknowable. Take care, Robin. No matter what happens from here, take care. Well, Captain, I suppose we've made it. We should be safe from here. That is, if our rescue ship is indeed coming. I suppose I shouldn't cast cynicism on this accomplishment. We should be proud to have made it this far. We wouldn't have made it this far without you, Cordell. Or Krian, or Rosa, or Pascal, or Stanberry. I did not accomplish much on my own, Captain. All I ask is that my kin will be remembered. It will be odd to return to land. My name will be in papers soon. No doubt I'd be recognized for my past. How is Stanberry? She's much more excited to return to land, I believe. I hope we won't need to deliver her pups on the ship. I believe I'll find a new home, start over with a new kennel. I've done as much before. I intend to do so again. With any luck, we will not meet again. I hope not. I hope we meet again. Well, we'll see. Frankly, you seem to bring misfortune, Captain. A jape, of course. It has been interesting, Robin. Promise me that you will take care of yourself. Okay. This is it, eh? From here on, we just sit and wait? So I see, they give you like a little going away thing for everyone who you have on your side. Let's hope the Appertons didn't give up on us. They'll certainly be pissed to find we've come up empty-handed. Do you think we could have found the Viscount? If you asked me before, I'd say not a bloody chance. But who knows? I've been wrong enough times before now. Maybe we could have. Enough's happened out here to change my mind on a few things. I've served on a lot of ships in my time, never once liked the one in charge of them. Military captains range from self-important and useless to drunk, self-important and useless. Didn't have high expectations for Hunt and had lower expectations for someone he'd hired. I was wrong there. You're all right, Shaw. What will you do? What else? I'll be going back to work. No rest for me. Hopefully more boring work next time around. Might take Kurt on his offer. Working with him seems a better gig than the Appertons. Robin, if you're ever heading on a ship again, let me know. I'll be right on board with you. Everyone knows you'd be a goner without me. Well, we're back to Templeton. We'd best get settled in, Captain. I imagine we'll be waiting for quite some time. The days pass in relative silence. Templeton checks the horizon each morning, but still no sign of rescue. The day begins to drift by. The days begin to drift by. There's a sudden rumbling. Did you hear that? Best check, Captain. Oh. There's a profound shake and the sound of a large blast. A change to the usual cold peppering of snow catches your attention. It's warm. In fact, not snow at all, but ash falling from the sky. Volcanic. The man seems clearly defeated. That's it then. The Viscount is forever lost. Let him have his moment. The horn rings out, cutting through the winds at camp. I didn't just hear that, did I? Arf, arf. Wait, is that Minerva? That's it. That's the rescue ship. A massive icebreaker pushes through the waves and arrives at the shore. Lifeboats are sent to shore. It isn't long until all that remain It isn't long until all that remain are on deck, which is everyone. We lost no one except Hunt's people. Before you stands an old lady draped in finery. A face you recognize from the Tinned Peaches, Minerva Apperton. Templeton steps forward as Minerva and her crew approach your group. Wait, she looks familiar. Is that the woman from the Tinned Food Kings? Captain, I never expected Minerva to travel herself. It's commendable. Indeed. You best allow me the introductions, Captain. I'm certain she will have many questions. Templeton approaches the group. Minerva, it's good to... Where is the Viscount? Rufus Hunt has much to explain. Where is that man hiding? Hunt? Well... went missing shortly after we became stuck. Disappointing, but hardly surprising. You should all consider yourselves fortunate. Had we not seen the eruption, we likely would not have found you. You are Officer Robin Shaw, correct? In Hunt's absence, that would make you acting captain if I am not mistaken. That would be correct. If what you say of Hunt is true, you have been leading this expedition for quite some time. Minerva, Shaw has. Richard, please, I am speaking with the captain. Yes, but... Your counsel will be appreciated once I request it. For now, I would like to hear from Shaw. You have been waiting a year for this conversation, Shaw. I shan't waste our time making small talk. You stand here without the Viscount. Why is that? Prioritize guaranteeing my crew's safe passage home over your mission. Interesting that you do not consider the ability to achieve both a personal failure. I won't mix words, Shaw. From what I understood, you made the conscious decision to abandon the mission you were hired for, breaching your contract. An offense of this degree will see you answering to the court, Shaw. Do you understand? That is ridiculous. I've saved the lives of this crew. Slim chance of safe return. I recall such being a condition of this expedition. It cannot be used as a valid reason to abandon it. Do any of you remaining take issue with this? Actually, yes. Richard, you do? Yes, Shaw's leadership has proven beyond valuable. You would not have made it this far without. I fully believe Shaw made the right decision in taking this route. I would stake my professional reputation on it. A strong statement, but you still are but one man, Richard. We'll assess your research records. Perhaps there's something interesting. There's something to be salvaged from this. She thinks to herself for a moment. I would like to hear from the rest of the crew. You don't know how much Shaw has saved the useless arses around here. We owe Shaw more than anything. Wow. I would stake my career and reputation on the work of Robin Shaw. My word may not be worth much anymore. It's true. With all due respect, Lady Apperton, it would be a great error to apprehend Shaw. Without the captain's diligence, this crew would have starved to death a long time ago. I can vouch for Shaw's work. I have multiple recordings and documents, should you need them. I struggled for quite a while, but Shaw pushed us on. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here were it not for the captain's leadership. You can't do that. Shaw's our captain. Always kept the crew fed, that's for sure. Ah, I see. So anyone who's left alive will abstain. That wasn't on my side. But that'll be basically everyone except Grimley's people. That's kind of disappointing, honestly. That's a good result, though. Okay, the research counts. Interesting. My word, you really have fostered a loyal crew, Shaw. Very well, I shan't fight with all of you. Captain Robin Shaw, it would appear you have excelled under these difficult conditions. You will return to land considered free of any wrongdoing, though the matter of your pay will still be in question. Minerva turns back, heading below deck. I'll speak with her. I'll try to ensure that you are properly compensated. Thank you, Captain, for everything. Come on, Robin. Let's go home. Grimley was definitely difficult. There wasn't much room for error with his, and I found it very difficult to figure out what kind of person he was or what he was really looking for in the sort of answers. Oh, the air was cold. To the ice I prayed, that leads revealed. Some charted course ahead. Of home I'll reach. Of home they'll reach, of warmth near found, through sail to comfort's bed. Hunger drew the desperate here. Such lonely souls were led. What did I do when steel hearts broke and courage did abscond? I've led these souls to help the gods. I've led these souls to help the gods out of the pale beyond. Huh. Well, I got quite a few achievements. Oh, it looks like I've got the beneficial 5. Huh. That was probably about 12 or 13 achievements, maybe more. That got unlocked at the end. Pretty great. That actually seems like a fairly big testing team for a small studio. But hey, good on them. I hope they did really well, Bellular's team. Pretty good game, honestly. felt like the end was a little weird. Like it felt like it lacked it felt like it lacked a little bit. Let's see, how many... Honestly, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. That was almost 9 hours. I'm going to have to cut out a little bit of time there where I took some breaks to eat and whatnot, but for the most part, that was almost a full... I think I went over a little bit over the average, probably because I was talking and him and hawing a lot and debating and whatnot and taking times to eat and stuff. So I think the average is like 11 hours for a playthrough, but I did about 14. So, but I was pretty thorough, I felt, and got quite a bit done correctly. There wasn't really many failures except my own failures, I guess. Still, very good game. I think that the highlights were probably the part where you are stuck under the tent and you're kind of out of resources, and then you get the dog scene. That was really rough. And also the scene where you are where the Stokes brothers are leading one of the life vessels and you're in the other one and you're all going through the sea. That was pretty epic. I think that was probably the highlight, but in general, the whole story was good. I liked it a good bit. I don't know if I would need to go back. Actually, continue. It looks like I don't really have the ability to... I wonder if you can go back, really. Or how far you can go back. Looks like you can go back some. It might be worth going back and trying to get different endings at some point in time, but probably not anytime soon. So, we'll see. But that's going to be it for now. I hope you enjoyed. If someone in the future does watch a probably 8-hour stream to finish this, but I hope you enjoy. Have a good night.